Hey everybody, welcome back to Brainiac Baseball's 1971 Seattle Pilots What If Scenario. Earlier today we wrapped up the month of May, and at the end of every month we have a separate video where we take a look at the standings and the league leaders. And this time around we're going to take a look at the players that are available in the upcoming amateur draft. So as you can see earlier today, we won 10-4 over the Senators. Maybe our biggest offensive output of the year, simply based on how many hits we got. We had 21 hits in the ball game, 10 runs, of course. And if we flip the calendar over and then move over here to the standings, you'll see that our batting average, our team batting average, went from 239 to 245 in just one day. So a big jump for our overall batting average. We're just a tick below the American League average. We've stopped hitting home runs altogether. I'm not sure why. We had several players last year that had 20 or more home runs that are still on the team, and yet we are not hitting home runs like I'd hoped we would. In fact, it looks like we have the second lowest home run total in the American League, behind only in front of the Washington Senators, who we are playing right now. Pardon me. So, and our team ERA at one point was pretty abominable, and now we've got it to drop down to a little nudge above 4. So I can live with all of that. I mean, we're really, other than not having any power, we're kind of doing what the game feels like is the average. And so there we have our 25-29 record. We are 12 and a half games back at the end of May, and we're 6-4 in our last 10. The biggest problem that I think we have right now is not being able to get all facets of the team firing at the same time. One game we'll have our hitters, and they'll have 21 hits like they did today, but line up with that. Or our defense gives up several errors. The game we had today had everything going for us, but that doesn't happen very often, and that's what's been really frustrating for our team. If we take a look at our roster real quick, you'll see Tito Fuentes is currently tired, but this is our total stats for the year so far. Most of our players are struggling below the Mendoza line. Aurelio Rodriguez, who we expected to produce and be our everyday third baseman, has had his job taken from him by Rich Rollins, who is still batting .371 at the end of May. That's amazing. Darren Johnson, who hit 39 home runs last year? 36? 34. He had 34 home runs last year. He's got 2 this year. And we've given his job away to Rose Skidmore, who we traded for earlier this season. And he's not really coming through with the home runs like we thought he would. He's got a 93 power and a 92 gap power. This guy should be hitting doubles and triples and home runs almost at will. So, Joe Pepitone's been a disappointment after his season last year. The only players that we have that are really looking great, of course, are Rich Rollins, who we expected nothing from, and Jose Cruz, who, although his batting average has dipped, he does produce for us on a game-by-game basis. And Manny Sanguillen is kind of hitting above his weight right now. I expect him to come down to about a 280 batting average, but we'll take whatever he has to give us. So, we don't have anyone worth bringing up at the moment. When we get to the amateur draft on the 9th, that's when I usually shuffle players from single A to double A to triple A. The Milwaukee Brewers in real life in 1971 did not have a double A team. So we'll definitely bring up Dave Parker to triple A, and probably Mitchell Page. Dave Parker will be a great addition to our roster when we, maybe in a year or so. But although he has a great current rating at 82, which would be the best on the team if we brought him up. He hasn't really been seasoned yet, so we might bring him up in September. Something to look forward to. And then we look at our pitching rotation. Jorge Rubio, who pitched earlier today, pitched great. He's 4-2 with the best record on the team. Jerry Stevenson pitched a complete game shutout yesterday. Brubaker's been reliable, although he hasn't been getting the wins. And Dave Boswell, is definitely killing us with his payroll. Ron Herbal as our fifth starter is just fine. Like, I don't have a problem with him. If he gives up some runs, what are we going to do? We just go to the bullpen. We have no one else that we can trust to bring up. I am considering bringing back John Gelnar to replace Ron Herbal. If we do that, you can see that he's made 5 starts in the minor leagues with a 3.09 ERA. So maybe we could bring him up and he might give us something more than he did the first time around where he got clobbered. And then in single A, when we get to the draft, Dennis Leonard, Dick Ruthven will both get called up to AAA. I'm not sure who else would qualify yet. I don't think Pete Vukovich is there. No, he's only 18 years old. So Vukovich won't be promoted. But those two guys will. And then, of course, they will very likely be on the team not too long after that. And we can sort out that starting rotation with some actual competent pitching, I hope. But for now, we have to ride it out. That's just the way it is, Cleveland is 3.5 up on New York. Oakland is 7.5 up on California. California's closing the gap. I mean, they're making it look interesting. Oakland has such a huge lead at one point. All the teams were over 10 games back. Let's take a look here at the National League. St. Louis has won 6 in a row, and that's given them a 2.5 game lead over Philadelphia. New York and Chicago are still in it. Pittsburgh's below 500. Montreal's already pretty much toast. And Houston kind of coming out of nowhere to have a half-game lead over the Dodgers. And everybody else in that division is just playing for third place. Cincinnati's already made a couple of deals. So you know that they're out of it. They're 23 games back already. We'll take a look here at the league leaders. Let's, what are we going to do here? We'll do all the batting stats first, and we'll be quick about it because I do want to spend time on the amateur draft. So we'll do all the offensive stats for the American League. In at-bats, it's the rookie, Fred Frazier of Minnesota. Tito Fuentes is right there. We have to give him a couple days off. But he's, I think, basically played just about every game. You'll see the rest of the league leaders. Damn it. Batting average. Here we go. Yeah, so Rich Rollins does not qualify for the batting title. If he had, he would be 40 points higher than Jim Northrup. Manny Sanguillen, killing it so far. He's 7th overall, batting .316. And Tito Fuentes just checking in at 270. But there's some good names here. Jim Northrup was a good hitter for the Tigers. Obviously, Sal Bando, Thurman Munson. Joe Torre was a batting title winner in his career. There's Yaz. We know he won the Triple Crown. So a lot of good batters in the batting average category. How many are above 300? So only the top 10 are above 300 as of right now. And it's May, so I mean that seems a little early. But let's go to doubles. Okay, so Jose Cruz is not leading in doubles anymore. It's Chico Selbin. Let's take a look at Cruz. I feel like he's had only one double in the last 14 games. So he went on that stretch where he was knocking one every game, and now he's in a little bit of a slump. And Manny Sanguillen's got 12, so that's solid. All right. Grounding into double plays, Joey Pep. Absolutely a rally killer. That's what we got to call him. Tony Solita has 14. And then other guys. Okay. What do we got here? Yeah, I do want to see the fielding. Manny Sanguian, wow, in the lower half of fielding average with a 977. How many errors has he made? 7. That is bad, but he's also right at the same pace as last year, not throwing them out at the same level. We'll look into that more momentarily. But Ed Herman, 995, and Gene Tennis, right up there. Okay. First base is Darren Johnson. I don't even know if he's got enough to qualify. How many at-bats does he have? Or is how many games they've started? So maybe 30 out of 54? I mean, that shouldn't really count. But he's right there. Okay. And then we have second base, which is Fuentes. Again, in the lower middle. Al Montreal of Baltimore. Okay. Third base. Lou Camilli is leading the third baseman with a 962. Aurelio Rodriguez. Yeah, boy. And Rich Rollins below 900. Oh, my gosh. 9 errors already. A negative 5.9 range and almost a negative 1 WAR already. But you know what? We got to keep running him out there with that batting average. I guess somebody's got to, get the offense going for us every game. Well, this is a little nicer. Obviously, Mark Belanger, multi-Gold Glove winner, deserves to be at the top. And Jerry Devaney deserves to be at the bottom. I mean, that tells you exactly how our games go. Devaney starts them, and then we bring in the defensive replacement. Let's take a look at left field. That is Jose Cruz. My goodness, we are just terrible defensively. There's Rudy and White. Center field is Rick Miller. It looks like Tommy Agee is having a little better year in center field. Is he not? Yeah. His range looks good. Last year he was below, 0. So that's he's a negative numbers. That's terrible. So he is doing better this year, but now we've pretty much used him as a corner outfielder going forward, especially when people have to get some rest in the outfield. And Joe Pepitone, 5th overall. I mean, that's totally acceptable for a guy that's probably better suited for first base. And he has multiple outfield assists, which we'll see. Games played. Well, the Royal Scott North, he's been in 55 already. Agee and Cruz on the list. We've got hits. Let's take a look. Interesting. I guess it makes sense that Manny Sanguian would lead the team with 62. In a way, I kind of thought Rich Rollins might be up there, and he probably would be if we played him every day. Tito Fuentes and Jose Cruz, all on the list. Considering our team batting average is not very good, that's a little bit surprising, right? Who has been hit by the pitch? Winston Yelatis. Mark Belanger. I mean, we got a bunch of guys with 2. All right. Let's see. Home runs, obviously. Billy Parker. Billy. 15. He's a second baseman with 88, who wasn't even in 88 power rating, wasn't even in the major leagues yet. That's insane. But it's also kind of what I like about it sometimes, right? Norm Cash, Jim Lytle, Bob Spence, Bobby Mercer. Our top guy has 5. So Reggie's on there. That's good to see. Feels like the home runs are down this year. Let's take a look at home run percentage. Yeah, Norm Cash, 8.8%. There's Joey Pep and Jose Cruz at the bottom. Let's see. Intentional walks, I guess I'm curious. Joe Pepitone's been intentionally walked 3 times. And he bats usually 4th or 5th. So that means whomever we have behind him, it's worth it to walk him. And Solita's got the most. And then on base percentage, I'm curious. Thurman, we got 4 guys over 400. 2 guys from Cleveland, 3 in the top 6 from Cleveland. That's solid. Outfield assists. Jose Cruz has 5? I don't remember that happening. Can't even remember one of them. Let's take a look at his fielding. Yeah, he's got more than he had last year. And you can see his range and WAR has improved, even though he's almost committed as many errors. So his range is getting better. He's getting to more balls. Okay. Neat. I'm surprised by that. I guess I haven't been paying attention. Here's the OPS. Cruz with 814. Nobody over 1,000. Manny Sanguillen makes the list. Billy Parker, come on. That's just dumb. Plate appearances. Freddie Frazier, 236. We got 2 guys with 220. And I don't really care about range. RBI, Joey Pep has 28. That's not good to be that low. Jim Lytle with 43, and then all the Cleveland guys. Runners thrown out. Whoa, Manny Sanguillen has the most with 15, and the Rimp has 2. This is very surprising to me. In percentage, he's somewhere in the middle, but I guess if they're running that much. Randy Brown throwing out 50%. That's amazing. We got to remember not to run on him when we face the Angels. Jim Fraunch, Tim Hosley, George Mitterwald. Thurman Munson a little bit lower. Gene Tennis is terrible. We know that. Okay, runs scored. There's Billy. And Jose Cruz is 4th. Tied for 4th, I guess. And Tito Fuentes down there with 28. Damn it. Where's my brain at? Okay, sacrifice hits. Jorge Rubio's got 6. And Andy Messersmith on the list. Jerry DeVannen, probably the only actual batter. I think these are all pitchers. I'm sure they are. Sac flies. Aurelio Rodriguez has 4 sac flies, leading the American League. There's actually some stunning stats here. Have we looked at salary yet? The top paid players in all of baseball, this is American League and National League, are all at $1 million. Palmer, Ryan, Durker, and Gary Nolan. And then there's Dave Boswell, number 7. What a dope I am for doing that deal. Okay. Steals, yes, of course. Tommy Agee has 10, but he's been thrown out 14 times. So we've kind of stopped that. Jose Cruz is 9 for 10. Fuentes, DeVannen. We try to run when we can. Steals success. Yeah, Tommy Agee, 41.7. That's bad. In case you didn't know. Who has struck out the most? Reggie, that makes total sense. And Tommy Agee. He's always among the league leaders. Total bases, Billy, by a lot, really, at this point. And Cruz, Sanguillen, we see a lot of the same names. Triples. 5 for Tom Silverio. We have Jose Cruz, Fuentes. Rich Rollins got his second one today. Walks. Tony Solita. How is Jose Cruz on that list? What's his eye? It's only an 80. That's weird that he'd have that many so far. Although maybe the game is compensating for his lower batting average by giving him more walks, keeping that on-base percentage up. Because really the OPS is not that different. Not too much difference, I guess. Okay, there we go. That's it. Let's look at pitchers, and then we'll move on. Complete games. We're just going to go in order for pitchers. I mean, we won't ever find our guys on this list. But Messersmith, Nagy, and Mel Stottlemyre. All right. What else we got here? ERA, of course. Mel Stottlemyre with a 205. And look at this. We have two pitchers in the top 10. Jerry Stevenson and Jorge Rubio. That's amazing. And Brubaker making the list as well. So 3/5 of our rotation, and really we've only got 4 regular starters, with the 5th guy being the bullpen guy. I mean, that's kind of amazing. Why are we not better? I'm not sure I can answer that question. Games pitched. Oh, Peronowski's up there. Riddleberger, Sanders, Wayne Granger a little bit lower, but he pitched on the Reds earlier this year. Okay. Who's induced the most double plays? Oh, the guy we just faced, Dick Bozeman. And Jerry Stevenson's got 9. I think if we could just put our defensive players in the game every time, we'd probably get more double plays because we certainly give up enough hits. All right. Who's hit the most batters? Les King, a bunch of guys. Rubio has 4. Home runs allowed. Nobody's running away with it. Dave Boswell's given up 12, and Geldar's given up 11. He's been in AAA forever. That's a reason not to bring him back, right? Innings pitched. Nobody. I don't think we have anybody even close. For one, we're on a 5-man rotation. Everybody else is doing a 4-man rotation. And then they pitch a complete game every other game. And we never do. Almost never. Let's see. Innings per game. Yeah, we got nobody on that list. Mel Stottlemyre is pitching 8+ innings per game. We don't care about that, really. Quality starts. Brubaker's got 7. It's nice to be represented. And then we've got, let's see, saves. Raleigh Fingers, you got fingered. He's got 15. Mike Marshall 11. Wayne Granger's got 10 total. I think 9 with us, right? Oh no, that is actually accurate. 10 for 13. And Kenny Sanders has 3 from when we made him our closer early on. Shutties. A few guys have 2. Larry Goel. I don't think that really should happen, but who has the most starts? Yeah, I mean everybody's probably 2+ starts beyond our team. Let's see, strikeouts pitched. Nobody for us. Jim Maloney has 92 in how many innings? In 105 and a third. Man, that guy, Maloney, has twice as many innings pitched as anybody on our team. That's crazy. What else we got here? Wins, I guess, right? Then we'll wrap that up and get to the draft. Holy shnikey! How can you have 10 wins after 2 months? He's had a decision in every game. Oh my goodness. I guess he's on the Oakland A's, so that makes sense. Gilliford has 9. 9-1. Sheesh. That's crazy. We don't have anybody on there yet. Okay, so there you go. We won't bother looking at the National League. Mostly I just wanted to just run through those stats real quick for the American League. Let's get to the draft. Now, the draft is going to come up on the 9th. We'll take a look here. So I always forget this. It either happens after the 8th into the 9th or after the 9th into the 10th. I think it's actually after the 8th into the 9th. So we just have 7 more games with the day off in there before the draft takes place. So let's take a look here. We'll spend a little time on this. I think it's interesting. We're going to go by scouting reports. And if you look at the upcoming picks over here, you'll see we have the 5th pick. Padres, Expos, the Cubbies, Tigers, Pilots, White Sox, and so on. And if we look at what the game gives us for scouting points, the best player is Bruce Sutter. Now, I would never draft even Bruce Sutter first. We could use starting pitchers. We could use any position. We're going to look at pretty much everybody here, keeping in mind that I did add baseball cards for every player already. And I've also made sure that they're in the right position. But having the 5th pick, just scrolling down, I mean, who would we go with here? I would go with Keith Hernandez. I wouldn't be opposed to Rick Rhoden. I mean, there's really not a lot of people here available this draft. We have the 5th pick, and I don't want any of these guys. So I guess if Keith Hernandez or Rick Rhoden is there after the 5th pick, I might go for it. And if they're not, I might go with Bruce Sutter. Oh, there's Jim Gantner. I mean, that's not something to get all worked up over, but okay. So we'll take a look here. There's Bruce Sutter. You see the age. By now, everyone should know pretty much what everything means. He's already got his splitter working for him. That's his best pitch. The pitch he was known for. The pitch that got him to the Hall of Fame. And then we got Brian Kingman, one-time 20-game loser for the A's. He was the last one before Mike Morath of our Tigers did that. Paul Moskow. Now, in our Tiger sim that we just finished, Paul Moskow was a pretty reasonable pitcher. He's got a peak of a 95. That doesn't seem realistic. There's former Tiger Dan Gonzalez. I mean, come on, no. Not happening. John Hale, Dodgers outfielder that never really quite worked out. There's Rick Rhoden. We like Rick Rhoden. I mean, it's a possibility, right? Danny Goodwin, he was an MVP in one of our Tigers seasons. Maybe it was the first year. He can only DH in this game. I mean, he can't only DH, but it doesn't show him anywhere else except for first or maybe catcher, which he did play. You see the catcher. No, it actually says DH on his baseball card, too. I don't know. I mean, that's accurate, then. Larry Demery. There's Jim Gantner. Nino Espinoza for the Mets. There's Keith Hernandez. I guess he would be who I'd go for. Roy Howell. I mean, he had a couple good power years for the Rangers, right? Joe Pittman. He's got speed. Mike Sember. Chris Knapp. We like Chris Knapp in the Tigers League. We had Chris Knapp on our team even. Paul Stevens, shortstop. Now, if you don't see a baseball card here, and I'm speaking to Julio, that means I couldn't find one on the Beckett website. That doesn't mean there isn't one out there, but if anyone wants to make notes and track them down for me, I will add them to the game. Bob Pate. Well, Bob Pate had a great career in our Tigers sim. Don Reynolds, brother, older brother of Harold Reynolds. Gary Ward. I like Gary Ward, one-time Detroit Tiger in real life. Dave Bergman, awesome Detroit Tiger, best at bat I ever saw. Was from Dave Bergman. There's another Tiger, Ed Putman. Gene Richards, super fast, did a lot of cocaine. Unrelated? I don't know, maybe. There's Larry Anderson, traded for Jeff Bagwell on the Jack Morris rookie card. I got a bunch of Jack Morris rookie cards in my collection. Maybe we give one of those away in the next giveaway. There's the Candyman. John Candelaria. His biggest problem in this game is that his endurance will not allow him to be a starter. So the game doesn't respect him in that way and never put him in a starter role. Nor does he really make a good reliever because of the endurance level. Larry Christensen. We've seen him pitch well in our sim. The Quiz. Not a guy I would really want. Quincy Hill. Okay. Ivan De Jesus. Good shortstop. Mike Miley, R.I.P. Dave Revering. Nope. Hank Small. Frankie George. Gene Menes. Never heard of him. Dick Walterhouse. We're already in Scrubville. Population U. Juan Eichelberger, Paul Hartzell, Rick Lysander, Frank Riccelli, right down here in the corner on the Giants. Luis Sanchez, he's a closer in the Tigers sim for the Indians. Jim Umbarger, Rich Wortham, Rick Bossetti, where's his card at? I'll have to dig that up. Barry Bunnell, Warren Cromartie. See, this game is just so wrong. His arm was a freaking rifle. It's a bazooka out there. He doesn't have much to offer, but if his arm ever got right. Dick Davis as a DH. Bo Diaz, watch out from above. That's not right. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you gotta look up Bo Diaz on Wikipedia or something. Ron Hassey. We like Ron Hassey. Sheldon Mallory. Oh my God, what's Jim Rice doing so far down here? Whoa, Jim Rice. What if we could get Jim Rice in the third round? That would be sweet. LaRue, Washington. Al Woods. Jimmy Busby. Andy Dyes. Stephen Green. These are all the guys that typically, when you don't see a baseball card, that means they were just added as a draft person from that year. Rick Camp. Fred Kua Olua. My apologies to Don T., who lives in Hawaii. Mark Littell. Rick Mahler. Larry Parrish. Larry Parrish should be all right. Francisco Barrios. Tony Chavez. Odell Jones. Mike Paxton. And made one of the worst paintings of all time there. Airbrushed. Mike Rowland. Roger Slagle. Roger Slagle does exist in our sim. We know him very well from the Tigers series. And when he gets to the 1980 year, if he makes it there, we will definitely use his 1981 card that was created for us. Frank Tanana, nope. Actually, I guess Frank might be the best option. I don't know why he's so low on the list. There's Bruce Taylor, Tom Underwood, Kim Allen. Wait. What? What's going on here? I'm doing this by scouting. Is our scouting not good? What if we did it by peak? This has got to be about how we proportion our money. Oh, yeah. I mean, are we the lowest? We might be the lowest. We're 22nd. And we can't raise it up because we're already in the negative and going deeper and deeper. So maybe the game altered this for us because we're out of money. So they put us last. Or I think 24 teams are the total. So we're near last. And maybe we'll be. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, you know what? When we get to the amateur draft, we got to do our due diligence and maybe like alphabetize everybody and then go down that list. Hey, there's Tommy Brookins, there's George Brett. So yeah, it's not accurately representing the players because we don't have any money to spend on it. So it's altered our overall perception of these players, right? So now we're just going to go scroll down really quickly. I would have continued to go down that route, but you know what? There's Marv Foley. There's Ed Glynn for the Tigers. Let's see if there's any other names that pop up like that. We know about Keith Hernandez. Larry Herndon. I love Larry Herndon. I would draft him. Let's see. We're in the K's. Yeah, like how could Brian Kingman be at the top? Our scouting is messed up. There's Sixto Loscano. He's someone you could count on, I guess. In the M's. Charlie Moore, good catcher. Could hit a little. Let's see here. Biff. Putt Man and Putt Nam. Don't mix them up. Okay, yeah, there we go. Down here in the S's. There's Frank Tanana and Bruce Sutter. There's Dave Tobick. Tom Verizor. That would be a good final round pick. UL Washington. And his brother LaRue. And we've got Rob Wilfong. And Joe Zadeb. Okay, so there you go. That's who's available. I mean, so at 5, when you've got Tanana, George Brett, Jim Rice, Hernandez. Oh, it's Tony Armas. Yeah, so I mean, we're going to get one at least really good player. I mean, we need pitching. We need everything, really. So we probably just go with the best available. Maybe there might be a little debate, but maybe not too much. So there you go. That's who is available in the amateur draft coming up. That's going to do it. We're going to come back tomorrow, play Game 2, the first game of the month of June. Don't forget that at the 15th of every month, we give away a graded card. So we're getting ready to go into December in real life. We have that 1991 Jason Giambi rookie card that is graded a 9 by PSA. That is for members only. We got 2 members right now. So they'll be battling it out. You can get in on that by donating $1.99 down here where it says join, and we'll add you to the list. And then, of course, every 40 games we give away prizes. So we played game 54 today, which is 1/3 of the way through the season. We have to game 80 before we give away our next set of prizes. Okay, that's going to be it. We will come back tomorrow, as I said. Until then, everyone, have a great day.